Yep, that's Jack eating grass over there.
And
Very good.
no, I must explain it to you. I came here and I didn't know a word to say in English, especially to speak with groups, you know. And step by step, tourist guides that really trust me and said, Menachem, you must do it, you must. I did it. And all these things is only to apologize to explain that I so hate these English teachers that when I brought you the first donkey, I decided to call it after my first English teacher. Some of you in English teachers, you know, this is what's going to happen 30 years after you finish the public school. Okay, something about our location. I understood that you spent some time here in the gallery. I think that you know. I'm going to give you the real location. We are in the lower gallery. Some of the people call it the heart of the lower gallery. Because something like 30 minutes from here to the east, you can find Tiberia with Sea of Galilee. 40 minutes from here to the west, you can find the port, Haifa, one of the biggest cities in Israel. Mount Carmel, the stories about Elias, Eliyahu, is his name in Hebrew. The fire, you know, the other prophets, you know what's happened there. Something like 5 miles from here to the east, you can find Cana. An hour and a half from here to the north, you can find a border between us and our nice neighbors at the Hezbollah. And 2 hours from here, 2 hours from here to the south, you can find our only important city in the world. And unfortunately, the way it's blocked with earth, you can find yourself in Jerusalem. This is the direction of my Saturday, of my Shabbat today. I'm going to say to you goodbye, and I'm going to take my family and drive to Jerusalem. I'm going to spend this Saturday in Jerusalem, and really I'm a little bit excited for this, because when I came to Jerusalem, I feel something very special. I cannot, you know, explain it in words, but I feel especially the old city. This is more or less our place. The first pioneers came here 23 years ago. It was empty hill. Empty hill, inside the hills you can see all around us. And step by step, with a lot of belief, and with a lot of good people that help them. For example, the government said it's very important because the majority in Israel, here in the Galilee, it's the non-Jews. And the government said it's very important to us that you will be in the majority. And they sent us to the Galilee. I came here. And today we have here 300 families that living here in this hill. It's an Orthodox Jewish community. I'm going to explain it, what it means, you know. We have here a synagogue, we have in our school, kindergarten, we have the youth movement here. We have everything. We have a little supermarket. We have our swimming pool, you know. We have everything that we need for a very nice quality of life. More important, from my point of view, is the connections that we knew how to build here between the families. It means that we are a community. Community, it's not only a title. Community, it's to know how to behave each other. Because it's like, I call it my closer family. Because they're very close to me. My relatives living in the center of Israel, you know, and this is my closer family. It means that since we celebrate something, we know how to share it with the others. I call it the easy test, you know, to share somebody that he celebrates something. It's difficult if something really needs your help. It means that he finds himself in a very bad economic situation. And even I cannot compare it, he finds himself in a very bad healthy situation. How the community know to support those families. This is the real test. Unfortunately, maybe I will say naturally, 300 family, you can understand that we got some sad cases and we knew how to pass them. We knew how to take care about the kids when the husband take care about the wife because she gets cancer in the hospital, you know. It's very sad. You're on vacation and I don't want to share with you those sad stories, but it will give you an idea about what to be a community. And I think it's a privilege to live in the gallery. It's got to be like, you know, think about myself. I'm a young Jewish here in Israel. And every morning I don't say to myself, you know, I have the privilege to build another time, rebuild the country and be here in the Galilee. But when I ask myself, what you did in your life, Menachem? I can say that I was a part of a group that really rebuilt the country. Yeah, you know, think about this. It's a dream that my ancestor in the exile dreamed about this generations ago. And I'm nothing, you know. I have the privilege to be part of this process. We have איך אומרים הסכם, אמנון? Agreement with the B. They don't do nothing to our tourist lady. All those flies.
Do nothing to the tourist lady.
Yeah. The B, yeah, believe me.
And there's an agreement with the B.
Not the bird.
Okay, my private dream when I came here is to try to take people and bring them to the ancient time of the garden. I started with the Jewish people, with my nation here. And unfortunately, I understood in those days that I was very, I knew what I'm going to do. Because I said that a nation without a past, without to know his history, is clear, in his future it's non-clear, you know, it's unclear. It means that you must, it's like a tree, without the roots every wind can fell you. And the idea of this site, he tried to take, I start with the Jewish people and bring them to the ancient town of the Galilee, to know from where we came. From where they brought us to the exile. And what's the idea and how I can explain to a young Jewish boy here in Israel, what's the idea to live here? Without explaining what's the idea to be Jew, and what's the idea to be, to have connection with his roots, you know? This is why we start. And only to explain to you, because it's not your subject, but this place, this area, this part of Israel, it's very important to the Jewish religion, because here in those hills, 1800 years ago, they wrote to us what we call the Oral Torah. You know, I said, wrote to us what we call the Oral Torah, those 6 books of the Mishnah.
They know it as a Talmud. We talked about
You talk about the Talmud. The Mishnah is before the Talmud. All the Talmud start with a Mishnah, and afterwards they start to speak about the Mishnah. They said the Mishnah is the base of our details today, the Jewish life. For example, I will give you for a minute, you know, the mezuzah or bar mitzvah. Okay, bar mitzvah, bar mitzvah. You cannot find even once in the Bible bar mitzvah. And every Jew in the world knows to make the bar mitzvah in day 13. From where? From the Mishnah. A lot of examples. Okay, how I can take people and bring them to the ancient, Christian guys. Why it's important to the Christian? Because if they want to know how the Jews used to live here, we are the place. Because, you know, my Saturday, it's more or less the same without the modern life, guys. More or less like 2,000 years ago. Because here in those years, you know, 1800, they drop everything that they got in their head for 24 hours. They did nothing at all, like in our community. We have white shirts, especially for Shabbat, you know, for Saturday. We walk with them to the synagogue. We pray all the community together in the synagogue. We walk back to the home. We have dinner together. We bless on the wine. We bless on the bread. We sing some songs together, all the family. We are going to sleep. You know, without any TV. Saturday, Friday night, without any TV, without any nothing, you know. Nobody work, nobody is driving in the streets in Saturday. Silence. Saturday morning, it's the same, you know. And this is more or less like how my ancestors used to live 2,000 years. They don't have any electricity, they don't have any light, you know, but it's the same more or less. And I said this is a life example, and this is the idea why for the Christian, they asked me to start to open it to a Christian group still. Because if they, for example, I'm going to give you now another 5 minutes, you know, the same costume like the ancient Jews did 2,000 years ago. And I don't cheat you guys, the same thing. Why not the same thing? Because in the end of the way, I try to find what they were, my ancestors. In the end of the way, I found a solution. On my body, they were 4 corners. They were what we call even today tzitzit. All the Orthodox Jews in the world wear it. Why? Because the Bible commands us to wear it. It's not I didn't prepare it to you, know. For example, Mordechai. Mordechai is one of my friends here. You can see his tzitzit. You can see his, he wear it, you know, from the time that I remind myself, I wear it. From the time that my father reminded me, he wear it, you know. Generation ago. Why? Because the Bible commands us. But 2,000 years ago, they didn't hide it. They was very proud to wear it, like the Bible said, to see those fringes all over the daytime. They did something like this. You can see Jews even today that wear it like brave people. Wear it like this. And you can ask me why today you hide your four corners. If according to the Bible you must see, guys, try to be Jew. Not in Europe 70 years ago that people could see that you're a Jew. Today in French, it can be very dangerous. This is the reason why they took the big thing, made from this something small, and decided to hide it. I can understand it. I cannot blame them. They protect their life. They didn't throw it. They hide it. I must hide it. Without I hide it, I become to be like ancient parachuter here, not ancient shooter. Guys, how I know you can find today Jews that came from Poland, one side of the world, Jews that came from Yemen, from that, and both different sides came back to Israel. It's another miracle, with the four corners above their clothes. More than these guys, open what the Christian call New Testament, Marcus 5:27, here in Cana, 5 miles from here, or 4 miles from here. The woman tried to catch Jesus. What she catch? It's only the corner of his garment. Why? Because this is what he used to wear. All the Jews do. This is what he used to wear. Head cover. Today the Orthodox Jews, guys, wear kippah. We have some kind of kippah with kinds of color. Never mind, it's the same, guys. They cover the head like this. But they didn't use it 2,000 years ago. We don't have any books of the Jews books more than 200 years ago that you can find the word about the head cover, this head cover. But we know that they cover the heads. What they did, I went to Market of Nazareth and I brought from the Arabs, from the natives here. It's not only the Arabs, it's the Christians, the Muslims, the Jews, everybody here. The Bedouin, everybody here in the Middle East covers the head. I prepared from this triangle and put it like this on my head. And one side here. Take a look, you are going to do it yourself in another 2 minutes. One side here, and other to the other side. Another crisscross here. And now I became to be like one of my ancestors here, 2,000 years. And with those costumes, they used without my Japanese watch. Without my French sunglasses. But they used pants, guys. I am not sure it was jeans, but they used pants, guys.
They did wear.
They used shoes. You know, it's old-fashioned, really. And with those costumes together, we're going to take a group picture. We're going to prepare the bread like they used to prepare it 2,000 years ago. And we're going to have a snack and then like they used to recline 2,000 years ago. And if you saw, you know, the pictures of Michelangelo that they set in the Last Supper with the big tables and the chairs. Guys, come on, they recline. Like I'm going to do with my family. I told you it's a live example. I'm going to do it with my family in the first eve of Passover. Another 3 weeks from today. Less than 3 weeks from today. Because it's the way that they used to eat. And I'm going to eat what they ate in the Last Supper in Jerusalem. What I'm going to eat in the first eve of Passover, less than 3 weeks from today. We're going to make the pita bread or the unleavened bread really. And after a while we are going to have the snack in the tent. And we are going to have a short ride here with donkeys like they used to road here. And in the end we are going to have the privilege to buy something in our gift shops.
Just like 2,000 years ago.
They try to make money even 2,000 years ago. Amnon, do you want to say something?
Oh yeah, doing fine. It's,
Great, great.
it's a very interesting English. You're doing very beautifully. I don't,
You know, this is the reason why the tourists really try to understand what they said. They are quiet, you know. I get silence. They try to understand my English.
We understand. Very good.
Yeah, very good English.
you're doing very well.
And they are very diplomat. I know. Thank you very much, guys. costume for you. Wear them. We are going to take group pictures.